We've just got to go into it with the same attitude that we've approached the last 3 or 4 games, with ourselves proud and put ourselves in the right position going into the new year.
Tommy, I would imagine today's recovery session was a bit of a happy one.
It was, yeah. A few tired legs out there, but we're all motivated today just to get that work in for us, because we know how important these days are to recover. Obviously, it's something that we'll need to remember with the facilities we've got, and as we look around now, we're all excited to get into the new facilities with what's in front of us. But it's just one of them where we've got to maintain standards. So we're excited for the next week ahead, really.
What does a recovery session entail? We saw you on the bike there this morning.
Well, obviously, it's just to get the lactic acid out of the legs. The turnaround in games is important to do that. Thankfully, we've got a great coaching staff that put the right detail into these sessions, because you have to get it right. You have to get the lads in and do the work. And obviously, then the lads have got to cooperate, and we're doing these sessions because we know it benefits us from the next day. As a standpoint, we need to be ready for training tomorrow.
Are you someone who sleeps well after a game, especially after a victory, or are you still reliving the match when you get home at night?
Not so much the match. Obviously, we take a lot of highs to get going. There's a lot of caffeine in there that it takes its toll on your body towards the night. So you're not going to bed relatively early at all. You're finishing the game late. So it takes a bit of time to wind down after a game. So sleep's most vital for footballers, but we try and get that the next day, recover and get some good food into us. But yeah, after a game it's difficult to get to sleep straight away, so we just try and just wind down as best as we can and switch off from the game, really.
And we've got Rotherham in 48 hours. Another team who are in that lower half of the championship, but it's going to be another tough match, isn't it?
It is. A lot of teams on similar points as well at the minute, and we know what it's like with this run of games. It's game on, so we've just got to go into it with the same attitude that we've approached the last 3 or 4 games. We know we're in a tough run of it. Obviously, competition for places is important. We've got players that can come in and rest certain places, so just being fluid with that approach and knowing that how important it is, especially with the injuries that we've had, that we're going through this little period now, and with ourselves proud and put ourselves in the right position going into the new year.
Given the number of injuries we do have, and Dean not for 1 minute has used that as any kind of excuse, are you very pleased with being in this position of 6th and just 1 off the top 2?
I think so. I think we look at what we try and do in training. We get a lot of impetus from Keith and Paul and the gaffer and Cease and everyone out there. They put a lot of work into it to get us prepared as best as they can for these games to turn around so fast, but then it's down to the players to go out there and do it, and thankfully we have plugged away and we've got the right results that we've wanted. We're in a good position, it looks good, and they're going to come thick and fast, we know that, and the way we prepare is important, like you've just mentioned, but having that mentality to know that we've got a good enough squad to go and win these games. Injuries will happen, and there's no guarantee that it's going to get any better in January. All we can do is put ourselves in the right position to hopefully ease that flow.
Speaking of application and training, etc., for the younger players, Tyreek, Antoine and young Sam Bell who's come in, have you been impressed with how they've applied themselves and broken into the team?
Oh, definitely. I think right now with the run of games, it's more important than ever to get the application from youngsters. The days when you come in the day after a game are a key training session, especially when you've got 2 days to a game. They put the pressure on the lads who are starting, they put the pressure on the lads who are on the bench to get the effort in and get the standards up, and certainly what I've seen, and the standards have been incredible. Sort of the new lads who've come across and Ryley and Opi, boys who've been here for a while now, them standards are improving every day, and it's just great to see that hunger and enthusiasm to train. I think that's what makes you a good professional. Everyone can be a professional, but how do you push them standards? And that's what the gaffer demands. That's what the older senior players will demand, and it's a good working environment then when you get everyone pulling in the right direction.